Welcome to Love and Relationship. My name is Ndon Indon. I'm a relationship coach. I'm also a counselor. I'm a minister of the gospel. There are four main reasons people marry, and we've categorized every reason under the sun into these four. And I believe that when you look at somebody around you who may be enjoying or may not be enjoying their marriage, they will tell you that one of the reasons they marry is among these four. Now, the first reason I want to talk about today, I call it physical attraction. That is one of the main reasons people marry. And I say to people, marrying because of physical attraction is like buying a product from the shop because of the packaging without considering the content. In marriage, it's the content that you'll be dealing with. The content of a person is the character of the person. The physical looks we have is like the packaging, and it will deteriorate anytime. I mean, anything can happen to it. People have accidents, they get disfigured, things happen to people. But you see, sometimes their soul remains and they can still communicate, they can still interact. So if you married somebody because of the packaging and the packaging is destroyed, that means your marriage will also be destroyed. So marrying because of physical looks is not the right reason to marry. You have to go beyond physical looks. It's good to consider the content of a person, which is the character of the person, which is how the person will treat you, how the person relates with you. You have to pay attention to the content of the person. And I want to show you from the Bible example of a person who married because of physical looks. And I believe that Samson was one of those who had a relationship because of physical looks. Because the Bible says that Samson loved a woman in Zorek whose name was Delilah. He chose to give his love to a woman that did not love him. And I believe he did not care about the character of the woman, the lifestyle of the woman. And that is why, even when the woman tried to betray him about 3 times, he still continued to love her. And if you look at that relationship, you can see nothing that was there except the physical looks of Delilah, because Delilah was beautiful. So he loved her because of her looks. And her character was not right. And she used the evil character to betray him and to destroy his life. So friends, it is not a wise decision to choose a person just because the person is beautiful, just because the guy is handsome. And I hear people say, oh, she's so hot. Oh, look at him, he's so cute. And the question is, how soon the hotness becomes cold? Because some of those people, after they begin relating with that hot lady, it's not long, then the hotness is cold. They don't want the lady anymore. They are angry. They are beating her up. They are fighting. Because they come to understand that it is not the looks that satisfy them. It is what the woman is, what the woman carries in her that satisfies them. You're looking at a beautiful woman, and when she opens her mouth to speak to you, my God, you jump out of the window. She can curse you. She can do anything against you. She doesn't care about how you feel. I mean, what is that? So I say to people, marrying because of physical looks can also be likened to a person who smells the aroma of a food and thinks that the food will be delicious. And then after eating the food, you discover that, this food, I can't even swallow it. I need to vomit it somewhere. You don't detect how good a food will taste by just smelling the aroma of the food. So it is very important to zero down our reason for marriage to the content, not the packaging. And another way I can liken marrying because of physical looks, it can be likened to you buying a beautiful shoe which is not your size. And if you force your feet into that shoe, you will be walking in a certain style all the days of your life. You will not enjoy your journey. You will not enjoy your visit wherever you're going. So you find out that marrying because of physical looks is not the right reason to marry. You must be able to know who you want to marry. The Bible speaks about understanding. It was in Jeremiah that God was speaking. He said, let a man who boasts not boast in his riches, not boast in his wisdom, but a man who boasts should boast in the fact that he knows and understands him. In other words, love comes through the knowledge and understanding of a person. You cannot just love a person from the looks of the person. Even people say you don't judge a book by the cover. And there is another proverb that I hear my people say. They say they wish that the character was like the looks. So you find out that, the looks alone does not satisfy. And I have come to discover that, you see, when you're dealing with a person, you're dealing with that person from what is inside the person. The person is going to be speaking to you from his or her mindset, from the way, he thinks or she thinks, or the way the person sees things. And that can be a way you like or a way you don't like. So you have to be sure that the content is right. And friends, let me remind you, the devil is not ugly. The Bible says he was one of the angels. He's a fallen angel. He is beautiful and describes him. So a lot of times when people see beautiful and handsome people, they mistake them for good people. No, the devil is beautiful. So if you want to choose a person for marriage based on the looks, then you might choose the devil without knowing. So you have to find out, does this person fear God? Who is this person? How does this person treat people? How does this person relate to people? You need to know the content of a person, not just the looks. So I believe in my heart that Samson chose Delilah just because of the looks, because I cannot see any other reason that he could stick to a woman who tried to kill him several times. So friends, it is very important to know this. Very, very important. Beauty alone will not make a good relationship. You need to go beyond beauty. Ask God to show you the right person. Pray and seek the Lord. And when the Lord shows you, he will confirm it. Now, there is a scripture which God used to speak to me. I remember when I wanted to get married, I've been asking the Lord, how does a person choose a wife? In this world filled with a lot of women, how does a person choose a wife? And the Lord took me to Proverbs chapter 31. And he spoke about Proverbs 31 verse 30. He says, favor is deceitful, beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. And that is where I understood that beauty is vain. Beauty does not work out a good relationship. And also he said favor is deceitful. Favor speaks about money. It speaks about wealth, what the person has to offer. He said that too is deceitful. But a woman who fears the Lord shall be praised. Where is the fear of the Lord? The fear of the Lord is in our character. It manifests through our character. It manifests through our lifestyle. So as you find somebody who fears God, who has the character and likeness of God, you can be able to know that you can build a good relationship with that person, not just the looks. So that passage delivered me from looking for beauty, from looking for what I can get, to looking at the character of a person. So it is very, very important. I would like to introduce you to my books. You are free to get any of those books on our website. They're also there on Amazon. Just look for Love and Relationship. You will find it there, Love and Relationship by Ndon Indon. And you can find The 4 Rooms of Marriage. That's the latest book I've written. And Why Should I Get Married also speaks about the 4 reasons I'm going to be talking about. And we have Living as One here. It's also a book for married couples. So you can get yourself equipped, especially the singles. Get yourself equipped. Don't be deceived. Make sure you confirm the right person spiritually and physically. Because the Bible says, by their fruits you shall know them. He did not say by their looks, by their fruits. So what kind of fruit is that person manifesting? What kind of life is the person living? How is the person living his or her life? You need to find those things out. And those things will confirm for you if this is the right person. Don't be moved because somebody prophesied, a person to you, and you say, oh, my pastor just prophesied. No, everybody must confirm the right person for themselves, because you are the one who's going to be in that marriage, not your pastor. So you need to confirm that this person is right for you. The second reason people marry, which I will call physical needs and wants, become a motivation for a person who marries because he wants his or her need to be met. So we have to be careful. Physical needs and wants is not the right reason to marry. Marrying because of physical needs and wants is like doing a boring job for the rest of your life. You are there for the money, you are there for what you stand to gain, and if you don't gain those things, you are not happy. So you must be able to check the motive why you choose a person. You know, a lot of time people say, I love this person, I love this boy, I love this girl, I love this woman, this man. Why do you really love the person? Is it because of what the person has to offer you, or because of who the person is? We have to check out who a person is. The character and the lifestyle of the person is very important, not what the person has to offer. Remember, the Bible says, love cannot be bought with money. It doesn't matter how much money a person gives you. If the person is not treating you well, if the person is not relating well with you, you cannot sustain love for the person. You are just there for the money. You just love the money. And it doesn't take long. The person might figure it out that you are just there for the money. So it's very, very important to understand that you should not choose a person because of material things, because of physical gains. That kind of relationship will hardly work. It will struggle to work, because the truth is that you are dealing with this person every day. What do you think the person can give to you for you to overlook the person's mistakes, the way the person relates with you, the way the person treats you? Whatever you have, you can use it and abandon it. But this person is in your face all the time, you know, talking things you don't like, saying things that you cannot tolerate, treating you the way you can't stand. How long can you stay in a marriage relationship just because of physical things? So I find in the Bible an example of a person who married because of physical needs, or who had a relationship because of physical needs and want, was Delilah. Delilah chose to relate with Samson because of what she stood to gain from the lords of the Philistines. They promised her money. So she was able to stock it out with him until she delivers him to them. So it's a relationship that was not meant to work. Meanwhile, Samson thinks that she loves him. You know, she uses the love thing to blackmail him. You say you love me, and you don't tell me where your power is. You say you love me, and you don't tell me this. And I believe that if Samson also did not get into that relationship for the wrong reasons, he would have discovered that Delilah did not love him. Because Delilah tried 3 times to betray him. And he could see the handwriting on the wall. But because he too was in it for the wrong reasons, so he could not see clearly. And that's why I say to people, be careful about giving your love to people. Your love is in your power to give or not to give. I hear this thing, people say, I fall in love. I don't believe in falling in love. I believe that you come into love. I believe that you grow in love. But to fall in love speaks about a helpless situation. I believe people fall into temptations because it's a helpless situation. But love is something that you still have your brains with you. You have your mind with you. You can still think. You can still understand things. You can still see that this person is not doing well. This person is not treating you well. So you're not helplessly in love. Love is something you walk into. Love is something you come into and you grow in it. So don't just fall into love and be helpless. When you see the handwriting on the wall, you cannot make a decision. It is very important to understand the right reason for marriage. Do not marry because of physical needs and wants, because those things can disappear at any time. Those things do not give satisfaction. Things do not give one, the long-lasting satisfaction you need. It will not give you peace. Peace is one of the major requirements of life. So will material things give you peace? You will not have peace. So friends, for those who are still searching, those who are still looking for the right person, make sure you don't choose that man because of money. I know a lot of women want to marry a man who they're secured with. They like security. But you see, love is more than that. I've said to people that if you find the right man, you can both build wealth together. You can both work together and make things happen. So you don't have to look for a ready-made person. God has given you a gift. God has given you something that you can contribute. When you build wealth with your man or with your woman, you have entitlement to it. It's not a man who will always remind you, this is my house, this is my that is my car, that is my that. And every time you are in a place where you are helpless, because you don't have anything, you've not contributed anything, you've not brought anything to the table. He owns everything and he owns you. So such relationships do not work out well. It is very important to know that. So I want you to understand that love is a connection that happens through compatibility, and it is developed by good mutual understanding. Marriage was given to us to enjoy, not to endure. And one of the reasons that people struggle is because of a wrong foundation. The reason you marry is the foundation of your marriage. And if the foundation be destroyed, the Bible says, what can the righteous do? So for those who have not yet married, it is very important that you understand the right reason to lay your relationship upon. Not just any reason, but it must be the right reason, so that you can build your marriage as it should be. So this is very, very important. Marrying because of physical needs and wants is not the right reason to marry. And you can see that, Delilah, who did this, she also got her own judgment, because I believe that she was there when the temple collapsed, when Samson pulled it down. And, there is a price for everything. Friends, your peace, your happiness, your joy is very, very important. Don't let anybody deceive you into the wrong relationship. When it comes to relationship, you must take responsibility of your life. It is you that will be in there. It is you that will be going through whatever you have to go through. You must find the right match for you. Somebody who works with you in the way you work. Somebody who understands you. Somebody who understands things the way you understand. Not somebody, when you're talking about things of God, he or she is not interested. Not somebody whose lifestyle is opposite your lifestyle. And you say you're going to change the person. There is one mistake a lot of people make. They marry the wrong person and they expect to change the person. It's not possible. You cannot even change yourself, because even ourselves, we trust God to change us. So people make New Year resolutions, they don't change. They still continue the same. Some people try for 3 days and they go back. So you cannot change anybody. So you have to find somebody who already fits in with you for you to be able to have the right relationship. Someone asked me a question one time and said, so what if, I love this person and this person also loves me, and we, even though, there are some differences that, challenges the relationship, but we are both determined to make it work, and we know we can fight for each other and all those things. How long will you fight for something that you are not equipped to fight for? I believe that God has a man and a woman for everybody. The Bible says none shall lack his or her mate. He has prepared somebody for you. Find somebody who fits into your life. Don't just choose and want to do a makeover. You cannot make over anybody. The third reason people marry is a manipulative or a forced relationship. A relationship that happens due to manipulations, or it's being forced to happen. A kind of relationship where parents force their children into, or a kind of relationship where people come into because of a situation or because of an occurrence or because of anything but not love. So we're going to talk about that kind of relationship. It's one of the reasons people marry, and I believe it's not the right reason to marry. So marrying because of a situation is like trying to solve a long-term problem with a short-term solution. And, it can become very disastrous at the end. So I find out that a lot of people decide to marry because of a situation. For example, maybe two people have a child together and they don't love each other. They are like cat and dog. They can't even stand each other. But something happened. And they said, okay, now we have a child, we are parents together, let's just marry. I believe that a broken relationship is better than a divorce. So it is not good to force people to marry when they do not love themselves. If a Christian has committed a sin, it should be treated as a sin. Let the person ask God for forgiveness and change his or her ways, rather than we trying to force the person to say, you must marry this woman and you must live an endurable life and all that. I believe that God forgives sins, and everyone will have a chance to rewrite his or her life. So marrying because of a manipulative situation will hardly work out. I met a man many years ago, and I just went into his house, And I found out that some things were not there. The furnitures were not there, the TV and all that. And I asked him, where are your stuff? And he said, yeah, I just got divorced. And I said, wow, oh, sorry. And he said to me, don't worry. It wasn't meant to last. And I asked him, but why? You've been married for 5 years. He said, yeah, we were not even in love. I mean, we married because we had a child. And now, we all have to go our separate ways and all that. So I regret, maybe I wouldn't have even gone into it. And I look at that situation and I say to myself, marrying due to a manipulative situation is like taking 1 step forward and maybe 2 steps backward, or even 3 steps backward. Because by the time you are now with the title of a divorcee, it's not as you were with the title of a single person. So it is very important not to allow situations manipulate you. Some people marry because of age. They feel like, oh, my time is going. I need to have a child. I need to do this and that, And they just walk into any relationship. And at that point, they are vulnerable. They are open to anybody, marrying them. They don't care about who the person is. Friends, you cannot stay in a relationship that is destroying your life, a relationship that you will not have peace. So it is not necessary that you must be married at all cost. No, you must marry when you find love. I believe that God has a time for every one of us to be married. I believe just like the Bible said, there is time for everything. And his timing also has to do with purpose. So not everybody will be married at certain ages, 20, 21, 30, Some people will marry at a later stage, but they will still be married. I have witnessed a marriage of a lady who was 50-something and a man who was 60-something. They were both marrying for the first time. I was there. It was awesome. So the truth about life is that don't allow situations to force you into a relationship that will destroy your life. The purpose of your life is more important than your marriage. So marriage is not a criteria to make heaven. So now, if you allow your marriage to lead you towards hell, because you see, when people marry for wrong reasons and they come into the wrong relationship, it can change who they are. It's like bad company corrupting a good person. So when you come into that kind of relationship, you were not an angry person before, but because you are always faced with this challenge, it changes you. It makes you become angry. It makes you become very, frustrated, and your life doesn't make much sense anymore just because of marriage. And the marriage is not profiting to you. So it is very important, friends, to be careful of why you are marrying who you want to marry. It is very important. Let it not be because of a manipulative situation. Let it not be a false kind of relationship. I've heard a story where somebody said they're about to divorce, and I asked why, and they're saying because our pastor prophesied us together, and I don't even like this woman, I don't like this person, I can't even work with this person. It is not right for you to marry just because somebody prophesied a person to you. You have to confirm the person for yourself. So it is very important to marry for the right reason. And in the Bible, I find out that an example of a marriage that happened because of a manipulative situation was the marriage between Jacob and Leah. Jacob did not like Leah. He was being forced to marry Leah. In fact, it was a manipulative situation. He was working for Rachel. And the father of Rachel felt that, no, Leah is the eldest. Why will this one marry this one and not this? And then set him up and gave Leah to him. And Leah suffered in that marriage. Leah suffered to a point that even God saw that Leah was hated. And he decided to shut Rachel's womb and opens Leah's womb to have a child. So maybe there will be some love for her. So you can see that kind of relationship. If Leah was the one who pushed herself to Jacob, you can imagine what she went through in that kind of relationship. She wasn't happy. She was frustrated. She was neglected. And even God saw that. So if you try to force yourself on a person, or you try to manipulate a way to marry a person that doesn't love you, my friend, you are doing yourself more harm than good. It's not going to work at the long run. I say to people that marriage is more of a marathon than a sprint. Marriage is not a sprint. If you have a problem in a sprint race, you have stomach ache, you can hold your stomach and run. Maybe, just few minutes, 100 meters, and you get there. But when we talk about marriage, we are talking about a marathon race, which you will just run for the rest of your life. So how will you remain unhappy for the rest of your life? It is not the right thing to do. It is not healthy for you to be in a relationship that you are not happy, you are frustrated just because you were manipulated into it, or you were being forced into it, or you even manipulated your way into it. So it is very important not to marry because of a situation. You must marry because there is love, not because of a situation. You know, I spoke somewhere in a conference in this country, South Africa, and a lady walked up to me after I've spoken, and he said, "But Pastor, my reason is not among these 4 reasons you're talking about." And I said to her, "Okay, what's your story?" And she said to me, "You know, I said to God, whoever you tell me to marry, I'm going to marry. Just speak the word, for thy servant heareth, and thy servant will do as thou hast spoken." So now, I don't know, she heard a voice. I'm not saying God spoke to her, because we later discovered it wasn't the voice of God, because the devil also speaks to us. So she heard a voice that said to her in a certain meeting, "That's your husband." And she went on and initiated a relationship with the man, and they started relating. And they later got married. She didn't enjoy the relationship. She went through a lot of struggle, abuse, all kinds of things. And she said she tried to stick it out. And she said, "Lord, you spoke to me. I promise you I'm going to obey your word." But it wasn't the voice of God. Bible said, test every spirit. The things which I'm sharing with you are the things you use to test every spirit, because they have confirmations in the word. God does not give us a burden we cannot carry. God does not manipulate us into things that he did not ordain for us to be part of. So when she went through a lot of stuff, she felt it's enough. She couldn't take it anymore. Instead of her going crazy or going mad, she decided to jump out. And I said to her, your reason of marriage is under what I call manipulative reason. It's a manipulative or a forced relationship. So you were being manipulated by the voice you heard. That was not the voice of God. Bible says he will speak peace. When he speaks to you, you will have joy. You will have peace. You will have understanding. So when you hear a voice, when you have a dream, you have to prove those things. Don't just see things and hear things and jump into it and say, "Oh, God has spoken to me." The devil gives people dreams. And also, people have dreams due to, their thoughts, due to situations or whatever it is they were involved in. So dreams and visions and, voices must be tested. All of them must be tested. So she didn't test that, and she ended up in a wrong relationship, which she learned by experience. So that is why you need to be part of what we're doing. You need to connect with us to learn about how to know the right relationship, how to choose the right person, how to build the right relationship, how to enjoy your relationship, your marriage relationship. It is very, very important. Don't marry because of a wrong situation. And, another reason I found out that, that can manipulate people to marry is having sex before marriage. Having sex before marriage can also become a manipulative circumstance that make people marry the wrong person. That's why I say to people, abstain from sex before marriage. Because you see, Bible says when we interact with an harlot, when we have sex with an harlot, we are like one. So you can find out that spiritually you might be binded to somebody. You're bound to somebody you cannot deliver yourself from because you had sex with the person. You can see this person is going to destroy your life. You can see this person is not right for you, but you are being bound. So it is very important to abstain from premarital sex. And so your eyes can be open and you can know the right person. Because sex can become a manipulative tool in the hand of the enemy. So let us try to walk in righteousness. Let us try to understand what God has for us. And I want you to understand this. God has the best person for you. Whoever you want to marry is the best person for you. It's not somebody that you have to kind of, stir up yourself to be married to, or kind of force yourself into it, or kind of push yourself. I don't advise people to go on with a relationship where they are not joyful, in it. It's a relationship like where people are encouraging you. No, can't you see he has this? Can't you see that is that? Can't you see? Any relationship you cannot see for yourself, is a relationship you have to watch out for properly. Don't be in a hurry to be married. You must be able to be sure that this marriage is going to work out. You must have some level of peace and joy. I see sometimes, in some movies you find where the bride is like having cold feet, or the husband, and people are trying to encourage the person. And I asked my wife one time and I said, did you have any cold feet? I didn't have any. In fact, I was looking forward for that day. I couldn't rest. I just wanted that day to just come. Let's just get married because I love this woman. I enjoy her presence. I enjoy interacting with her. Nobody tried to stir me up to say, just be strong. You will get to love the person. You will get to do this. No, that's not the right relationship. I believe that whatever God does in our life, it must give us peace. It must give us joy. It must give us harmony. So a manipulative or a forced relationship is not right. And please, I want to advise parents, don't force your children to marry people they don't love, because you are putting them in a very difficult situation, in a situation that they might remain unhappy for the rest of their life. They might even lose their mind. It might affect every area of their life. They may not be as successful as they desire to be. So it is very important that we do not manipulate or force people to marry, and that people do not marry because of a situation or because of anything without love. The right reason to marry is that there is love. There must be love before you go ahead to marry. Love will grant you peace. Love will give you joy. Love will give you, grace to be patient and to work out your relationship. The fourth reason people marry, which is the best reason to marry, I will be talking about love needs. Love needs is when your emotional needs are being met by your partner. Love needs is when you find somebody who can love you the way you desire to be loved. So that is a right reason to marry. Love need can be a proof of compatibility. So if you believe that God has given you somebody, and then you meet the person and the person seems to treat you the way you would love to be treated, the person cares about you the way you would love to be cared about, that can be a proof of compatibility. And I also find out that in the Bible, the best marriage I have seen between Isaac and Rebekah was formed out of love needs. When Abraham sent his servant to go find a wife for Isaac, and the Bible says the servant did not pray for the most beautiful woman. He simply prayed and asked God, the right woman for my master. Let it be a woman who will give me water to drink when I ask her. So that is more of an action, thing. It's a character display. So he was trying to find a woman who has the right character in serving his master. So that was his test. And the Bible says when Rebekah came, he asked Rebekah, and Rebekah voluntarily decided to give him water and, also give water to the camels. So that was a certain kind of love need, which is act of service. It simply means that Rebekah was willing to save and to save his master. So love needs is finding that person who will treat you or who will save you or who will bless you the way you desire to be blessed. So in other words, I find out that the marriage between Isaac and Rebekah, to me, was the best marriage in the Bible, because you can see, even the Bible speaks about when they were in a certain land, and they even told the king of the land that, we are not husband and wife. But the king could see them playing together, enjoying themselves. I believe it was a fun marriage. It was a marriage they enjoyed because they were able to meet each other's need. So you can see the foundation of that marriage was based on a love need being met. There are about 5 love needs. One is acts of service, where a person feels love when he or she is being saved. And there is another one called words of affirmation, complimentary words. You feel loved when somebody pays you complimentary words. And there is another love need, physical touch, which is simply a way a person feels love when he or she is being touched, not sexually, but, affectionately. Somebody, caring about you. So, and there is another love needs where a person feels love because somebody spends time with him or her. So there are about 5 love needs. In other words, we are all unique, and we have one of these love needs as one of our main love needs. For you to prove that this person is the right person for you, the person should be able to love you the way you desire to be loved, to give you things according to your desire. The person should be able to help you to become satisfied. Another love need I forgot to mention is receiving gifts. If you are in that category, you will feel loved if a person, always give you gifts. And the gift is not majorly about the size of the gift, no. It is majorly that the person shows you he or she is thinking about you, cares about you, and will want you to have this or that. We all have different love needs that are primary to us, that are important to us. So now, if you find somebody that you think that God has given you to marry, or that you love so much and desire spending time together, this person doesn't have time to spend with you. No matter how much things the person buys for you, you wouldn't feel loved, because that is not your love need. That is not what makes you feel loved. So love need can be a proof of compatibility. When you find that person that you don't have to spell everything out for him or her, and the person out of his or her own goodness, cares for you in that manner as you would like to be cared for, it's a proof of many things. It makes you feel like, wow, this is a blessing. So you can see when Abraham's servant saw Rebekah doing things that he desired, he was like, has God answered me already? This is wonderful. And I believe that Isaac love need was acts of service, because that is the woman God gave to him. The woman was always willing to save, always willing to bless him. And I know a lot of men have acts of service as their love need. They want to be saved. Some women have spending time together as their love need. They want their husband to always spend time together. I know a lady who said, her husband buys that thing, but she's not happy because he's not always there. She wants to spend time with him, not just about the gifts. So love need is very, very important. You see, God ordained marriage to be able to meet our love needs. God ordained marriage for companionship. He ordained marriage so that we can be satisfied, we can be able to walk in unity and togetherness. So you don't have to be in a marriage and then you lack some emotional need being met. That is why a lot of people cheat. In fact, I've come to understand that people tend to tilt towards where their love needs is being met. So you find out that some people marrying somebody who does not meet their love need, and maybe they go and they find this guy who is always there to care, to spend time, to listen to them. It can become a temptation. Most times people get tempted when they find somebody else who seems to meet their love needs more than their husband, or more than their spouses, or more than their wife. It becomes a temptation. If the person likes complimentary words and the husband or the wife about complimenting him or her, but in the office or at work somewhere, the person finds sister always like to pay compliment, that person might enjoy the company of that person who pays compliment more than his or her spouse. So this is very important. And for those who are married, please find out the love need of your spouse and give it to your spouse. Several times I've heard people say, I have done everything and my wife is not happy, my husband is not happy. You can do everything without doing the right thing. Find out how your spouse wants to be loved. Find out how your husband or your wife wants to be treated. It is very important. And give to the person what the person wants. Even Jesus said, give to God what belongs to God, to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. If your wife wants you to spend time with her, nothing else will satisfy her, and spend time with her. If your husband wants to save him, nothing else may really satisfy him. Find a way and save him. Whichever love need that your spouse desire, it is important that you give that. Because as you give that, your spouse feels loved. Your spouse feels cared for. That is how your spouse is made. The Bible says, let the husband focus on pleasing the wife, and the wife focus on pleasing the husband. I always say to people, I believe that one of the reasons God gave us eyes that we cannot see our face except we look in the mirror was so that we can focus on our partners, not on ourselves. Because if we could see our face, I don't know if you've tried looking at your face with your eyes without the mirror, you can't see. If we could see our face, we'll be focusing on ourselves instead of being a blessing to our spouses. So, friends, it is important that you focus on your partner. Husbands, focus on pleasing your wife. Wife, focus on pleasing your husband. It is very, very important. So love needs can make your life beautiful. Having your love need met is just like having your desires met. It's just like being loved the way you will desire to be loved. So this is very important. I would like to introduce you to the two main relationship books I have. You need to read this. This book has the love needs. It has ways to solve marital issues. It has a lot of things defined in a way you've never heard before that you will be able to practice and benefit your marriage. Please find this book. You can get it on our website. You can get it on Amazon. Love and Relationship by Ndon Ndon. It's just 100 Rand. You can give us a call. We will post it to you wherever you are. And also, this is another book that is very interesting. The 4 Rooms of Marriage. Maybe I'll be speaking about this in future. It speaks about marriage as 4 rooms that God has given us to enjoy. So this book will give you understanding on how to balance your marriage, create a healthy and a happy marriage. And also connect with us on our Facebook page. Subscribe to our YouTube, Love and Relationship by Ndon, and our Facebook page, Living as One Events, our Twitter handles. You will see all of them on the screen. Please connect with us. And if you're going through any marital issue, we are there for counseling. Give us a call. We will book you in, and your marriage will be as fresh as new. And for those single who are still confused, you want to talk to us, you can connect with us. We are there for you. So I would like to wrap up here today. And I believe that God, who has given you that relationship, for those who are married, he will cause it to prosper. And for those who are single, God has somebody for you. As you believe him, that person is going to come to you. Just have faith. Believe God. God will make it happen for you. Thank you very much, and join us for our programs. You will find every detail you need about us on our website, www.livingasoneevents.com. God bless you.
You may visit our website for details of our events and register at www.livingasoneevents.com. You can also get our books on relationships. We also do counseling for couples and singles who want to make the right decisions regarding their relationships. For more info, please contact us on 078 255 4517 or email us at livingasoneevents@gmail.com. God bless you.